How's it going, guys? Yet another interesting matchup between Dante and BJ, but this time we're going against Dave Mcfarland and Bill Listy, a 5-6 combination. This is our second match during the John Bavard Scotch Doubles Tournament. So this time I was able to set up the camera quickly at the beginning of our match. So we won the toss. I opt to break. I have a stronger break than BJ. Usually with most games, the break is very important. And a lot of beginners take that for granted. Take your time. Make sure A, you have a tight rack, and then B, make sure you focus on where you're hitting the apex ball if you're going for a first ball hit. Right away I sink in a stripe, I believe, right into the side, and so I tell BJ that currently right now I think it's better to take the stripes, even though that most of the solids are in the open. They're both relatively good, but I believe the reason why I said go ahead and go for the stripe is because the 1-9 issue, a lot easier to break out with that 15 ball. So BJ hit it nice and easy, but unfortunately it rolled into the cluster there. So I'm going to try to carom off a stripe ball and hopefully try to make my 9 ball. Confidence was pretty high. We just got through our first match, which was pretty good. I hit the ball a little too full, but the place that I was at, I was okay because the 7-4 combination is somewhat of a tough shot, and he wasn't able to see the 4-ball full. And I believe it is Dave shooting right now, so looks like he's going to try to do the combination. And like I said, all combinations really is kind of tough. Let me tone down the... Alright. So BJ takes the rail shot, which was a good idea. I don't particularly like having shots on the rail. I'm not sure if I decide to take the 15 here or the 9. I'm just making sure that I measure out all possibilities. So I think I just float this towards the 15. Nice table roll. I stunned it, so that way there's not too much movement on that cue ball, which set him up for either the 9 or the 14. Unfortunately, he overcuts it, overcompensated. So Bill comes up to the table. Right now he's looking at... He has basically the 6 ball. Maybe the 2 ball, if he can hit high on the rail with the right speed, it might go in. But I think he opts to take the 6 ball. That way he can have the 5 ball for his partner. Makes a good hit. Dave comes up to the table. his only option really is the 5 ball, and if he can hold that position right there, he should be leaving his partner in a good situation to pocket a ball and break out that little situation there. Bill comes up, and it looks like he's opting to take the 4 ball, which is the ball in the middle, and maybe get some breakout there, and he does. Now, if I was shooting this out, I would probably stun the 5 to the side. That way I still have the same shot on the 7. 2 and then 1. Dave decides to take the 7 ball, but unfortunately puts him on the worst side of all 3 solids. Really doesn't have a pot. None of them have a pocket to go to. So Bill's trying to measure out whether if he can squeak by the 9 ball or possibly pocket the 9 ball, and but he hits it a little too fat. Hits the 9 ball. So now that we're looking at the balls here, I'm up to shoot. I'm just trying to figure out in my head what would be the easiest for the both of us. So I think what I should do is hit the 9 ball and let it come forward 1 or 2 rails. That way he can hit the 12 ball into the side. Wow, I goes to show you I just don't remember how we did this, but I backed it up, I guess, to make sure that he has a shot on the corner ball, which I believe is a 14. Now at this point I'm telling him to go ahead and hit high left, that way that it can go 2 rails and get on the backside of the 12 ball, so that way I can see it to shoot it into the side pocket. I'm double checking to make sure that he has a shot to the side pocket. So again, I'm going to put a little bottom and maybe a bottom stunner, just so I don't get a whole lot of movement on the cue ball, and then that way he can see a good path towards the side pocket. I almost missed that one, but I also knew that I was going to run into the 3 to help me stop if the ball got away from me. And just like that, game 1 goes to BJ and Dante. Alright, here we go. We're going to go right into them breaking the second game. Bill decides to break. Looks like they had a dry break from right there. Now, looking at the table, I think stripes is a better option because all the stripes are on the outside of all the solid balls, which means that gives us a lot of options to shoot. Nothing's really tied up. The only ball that really is we have to really worry about to getting to is actually the 8 ball, and then which ball is going to get us to where we have a good position on the 8 ball itself. So weighing out the options, finally we're going to go ahead and go with stripes. Nice center ball hit on this one. Just to hit the short wheel and come back up. At least that's what I was hoping. BJ opts to take the next ball, which is pretty obvious. Now, he got a little bit out of position on me on this one. I would have liked for him to roll forward so that way I can go ahead and shoot the 13 ball straight up into the corner. I'm trying to figure out if banking would be the option here and then just draw it back a little bit so he can hit that wired triple combination. But I guess I went to go forward. I believe that it probably would have been a little too much for me to try to hold the position. At least in this manner right here, he's a guaranteed pocket. All he has to do is just do this at slow to pocket speed and not get crazy with the ball. Now, on this point right here, all I really want to do is just maybe stun the ball or back the ball just slightly up because I already have a natural angle to get position on the ball that's closest to the back rail there. That was a total miss. Not sure what I was doing, but you know, it happens. I believe Dave's up. He's starting off since Bill decided to break. And I think he's just waiting for the other table for the shooter because he has to get on that side. Hopefully he's imagining or pathing out the... hey Ari, that was Ari that just walked by. I don't know who that was, but you know, whatever. So it looks like if I was Dave, and I think the smart path would have been the 1 to the 6 and then work your way back over. But he, you know, he makes a good shot on the 3 ball into the side and puts him basically back into the center table, which is important also because, you know, in the center table gives you the best options for whatever shots out there. Bill decides to shoot the 7 ball into the corner, nice and easy, but overcuts it, unfortunately. Now, I'm not sure if, when BJ gets up here, I'm not sure if he has enough to see on the other side of that ball. I did leave the audio on this one, and maybe we can hear what is being said. And again, that's okay. It was really tough for BJ to try to get position back on another ball for me. Now, Dave's up. He's going to fire away at this 5 ball, get some separation with the 2. And he does. Now, at this point right here, the path that I would have taken on this is I would have shot the 7, stopped it, gives me the 2. Go forward a little bit, and then I believe the 4 passes the 9, and then 1, 6, and back over to the 8. If you see something different, put your comments in below, and let's Let's compare notes. So Bill's going to shoot the 7 ball down. Maybe he heard me when I was thinking out loud. Dave's up. He's going to fire away at this 2 ball. Nice easy roll. Oh, he just misses it. Now, at this point right here, I think I might have enough to see the 9, but I actually call another player over just so to make sure that I make a good hit, because I think I'm going to have to put some English on this to throw the 9 ball into the pocket and then bump the 2 ball out of the way. Thank you, Robert Austin, for watching. Now, BJ, all he has to do right here is just hit center English. And he does. Well, the center top would have been the optimal, but I believe he just said center ball, and which made it go back and forth. This is kind of tough for me because I'm not 100% accurate on long rail shot or long rail banks, but you know, give it a whirl. And I hit the ball too thin, which is unfortunate. Now, here's a tough shot for most players anyway, is when you have a ball on the rail and they are parallel to each other to the hole or to the pocket, which means that there's no wiggle room to try to hit it at an angle, so you have to kind of create your angle. And I think instead of getting crazy with it, Bill decides to just roll it and give a shot to a long shot for the 4, which would be okay because honestly, Dave, all he has to do right here is try to make the 4 ball into the corner, but follow it so that way it separates the 8 ball and the cue ball from our ball. But he, I believe, goes to shoot the 6 ball and naturally gives me a window. Now I could see probably 1/4 of the ball. Oh, Bill's coming, or I mean BJ's coming up. So all I tell him to do is just slow roll it, and it naturally goes to the rail and tries to leave it on the rails as thin as possible. He almost made it. He probably could have threw it in there with some left English, but you know, it's cool. It was a good hit nonetheless. So Bill's back up, does a stop shot, and buries the ball. Now here, I'm just since the balls were pretty much even with each other, all I really have to do is just find the center, aim for that, and give it a little running English, and I should make contact with the ball. That's the reason why I put the pool cue there, and I'm looking. And I believe, unfortunately, I decided to stab at the ball instead of stroke the ball, which and that means that I hit it kind of hard, and I took the angle out by hitting a little bit of bottom. So for those of you watching, make sure that if you're trying to bank at a ball and you're not trying to do anything fancy with your measurements, always hit with a tad bit of running English instead of bottom or center, and hit it at a medium stroke to be consistent. Otherwise, if you hit it hard with a bottom stroke, you're going to cut the angle down. That means that you're going to squeeze it a bit. Now, let's see here. Dave's going to go ahead and shoot the 1 into the side pocket. And it looks like what the order is going to be 1, 6, 4, then the 8. I would have liked him to possibly try to get on the other side of the 6 ball so it naturally goes around the table and gives him an angle. So now at this point right here, Dave shoots forward where I believe that he should have shot bottom. Now he got lucky on that leave, but unfortunately that doesn't give a whole lot of wiggle room for Dave to get position on the 8 ball. And like a shot like that, shooting over a ball, it's really tough. So when you're playing, especially in Scotch doubles, remember to try to give your partner the best advantage to A, make the ball, and B, to make some movement. So all BJ has to really do here is either shoot bottom or top, and he could have went up or down. Unfortunately, again, he leaves me a bank shot. I can't say unfortunately again. It's just that BJ throughout these games, he was struggling a little bit in some of the matches, and so was I. But I'm pretty confident most of the time on these banks cross table, and as you can see, I was just a little bit off on that. So now I believe Bill's back up. Now, always, as a rule of thumb, you always want to give your partner a shot, or even yourself a shot, away from the rail. You shouldn't have to ever queue up on a rail, especially on the 8-ball shot. And all he really had to do, since he already had an angle, is to hit it medium stroke, let it bounce off the rail naturally. Nothing funky. And then here, unfortunately, Dave comes up, misses the 8-ball, he overcuts it, and sets the ball practically in the front of the pocket. And BJ slow rolls it in, and that is the end of the game. So, all right. So we get to advance to Game 3 undefeated. So I hope you enjoyed that. Be on the lookout for the next match. Game 3.